read Chapter 15, The Biggest Danger Yet. After such a terrifying experience, none of us could quite relax. The only way to be sure we were safe was to scour the island for further dangers. I got the boys and went to explore once again. We would be gone for weeks, I explained to them as I planned for us to cross the island and discover all the dangers it might hold. Until we knew we could never rest easy and there might be worse than our first snake out there, we packed and got ready to travel. One day during our travels, I took Franz with me to test his hunting skills while the other boys rested. As we walked through the marsh, he came upon what he thought was a pig. He shot it and we found that it was not. It was a capybara with bristles and yellow hair. We took with us back to our camp and Franz showed off his trophy. Everyone else turned with their own treasures. There were birds for dinner, and Fritz had returned with some strange apples that we let Nips try. Nips seemed to take a liking to them, so we gave them a bite. They were cinnamon apples and a real treat. We had found no serpents and were getting to feel more at ease. We all slept well. The next day, we came upon some wild boar, which we caught and killed and made into hams that we smoked over some days. Later, we continued our search for serpents at Prospect Hill, only to find apes had been there too. The place was a mess. We could not deal with it then, as we had to keep up our search. We carried on until we got to the end of the coast and stopped there. We pitched a tent again, and the next day the boys and I set out to explore this new land. As we walked, Nips suddenly ran off yelping. We looked to see what had said him and thought we saw horsemen coming toward us. As they got closer, we saw that they were ostriches. As they passed, we discovered a nest full of their eggs. Each was as big as a baby's head, so we could only carry 2 away. We tied them in a handkerchief on a stick and carried them like a basket. From there, we made our way to the nearby water hole and looked at the tracks. There were all kinds of animal marks here, but no serpent. As we headed back to the camp, we heard the dogs bark and saw Ernst running us at full speed. "Father!" he cried. "Bears! There are bears chasing me!" As the massive animals came out of the clearing, they chased us on their back legs, rearing up to fight. We shot as quickly as we could, and one fell to the ground. We just hit the second, just as I was rising up to strike Fritz. "Thank heavens!" I shouted. "This is our biggest danger yet. We didn't find any serpents, but these bears could be just as deadly. We've done well today." And with that, we set about getting ourselves some bearskin rugs. These we took back to our animals to camp. The next day, we set out for the spot where the bears had attacked and cut the meat off the bears we had killed for our dinner that night. We smoked the rest of the meat on the spot to save later for that day. While we were there, we found plants that I knew were pepper. We soaked and dried them and made ourselves both black and white pepper. During this time, I let Jack, Fritz, and Franz go on their own adventure. Ernst and I stayed back to finish our work. The boys each took their animals and were off like a shot. I wanted them to be brave and learn how to take care of themselves. While they were gone, Ernst and I found that the bear's cave was lined with the kind of stone that could be seen through and split into thin pieces. I knew then that I could make window panes of it. My wife would be thrilled with this discovery. As night came, we heard the sounds of hooves coming. We knew our party of adventurers would be coming back. We saw them jump from their saddles, and the boys all came rushing up to the camp. They were excited, and Fritz's bag looked lumpy and strange. "Hooray for the chase, Father," said Jack. "We've had such a good time." "Yes," said Franz. "We found an antelope and rabbits, and we found a cuckoo that showed us where to find honey." "Well done," I told them happily. "Most importantly, you are all back safe. Now tell me the whole story." And that is what they did. Well, that's the end of that chapter, and I will see you soon.